Today, we will be discussing Hamlet through a feminist lens. Let's start with defining a few important terms.
Feminism is the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of the equality of the sexes.
Misogyny, dislike of, contempt for, or ingrained prejudice against women.
Feminist criticism, what is it?
Feminist criticism is a lens we will look through while analyzing Hamlet in our project to expose the misogynistic nature of male and sometimes female authors in their writing.
In using this lens, we aim to show how gender roles and objectification of women are portrayed throughout Hamlet, as well as other works, perpetuating sexist undertones in literature. Let's go into a background of the setting in which Hamlet was written. Let's travel back in time to the 1600s.
See you guys in a few hundred years.
Hamlet was written during the Elizabethan era, which took place during the late 16th and early 17th century. Women during the Elizabethan era were held to different standards than they are today, and very different standards than men. They were often uneducated and obedient to men, losing most of their autonomy in marriage.
Hamlet is disrespectful to most women in his life. He harbors resentment towards his mother and uncle for marrying so quickly after his father's death.
Mother, I don't talk to incestuous whores.
Making him bitter and resentful. He also struggles with his own ideas of manliness, as he wants to get revenge for his father's death, but finds it difficult to act upon his anger.
I must avenge my father's death, but I am too weak.
Although Gertrude is the most powerful in the kingdom, second to Claudius, she is still submissive to all the men in her life. She marries again immediately after the death of her husband. Gertrude is used by the men around her. The first and only time that the reader sees Gertrude disobey Claudius is when she unknowingly drinks the poisoned wine, resulting in her death.
Ophelia is presented as beautiful, submissive, and naive. She is Hamlet's object of desire. She unquestionably obeys the men in her life, such as her father and brother Laertes. However, she also wants to please Hamlet. Because she is so submissive, she feels a need to obey both of the dominating male figures who have substantial control and influence over her. Ophelia has an inner controversy over whether to pursue her feelings for Hamlet or obey her father and brother's orders.
This internal conflict ultimately leads to her suicide.
Claudius is power-hungry and will try to advance his political status at any expense. His views on female and male roles are very in line with the time period. He uses Gertrude as a pawn to gain power. Even though Gertrude was queen long before Claudius came into power, he has complete control over her.
Polonius is the advisor to Claudius and is the father of Ophelia and Laertes. He sees Ophelia as a way to advance his status and worries that if she behaves promiscuously, she will jeopardize his status in the royal court. Polonius gives Laertes much more freedom than Ophelia and holds them to very different standards. Laertes holds a brotherly protectiveness over Ophelia. He is concerned about her reputation and preserving her worth. He does not want her losing her virginity before marriage and takes it as his own job to make sure that this does not happen.
"'Tis sweet and commendable in nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father, but to persevere in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. It shows a will most incorrect to heaven, a heart unfortified, a mind impatient, an understanding simple and unschooled."
Do not believe these vows, for they are broken.
I shall obey, my lord.
Or lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered importunity. Fear it, Ophelia. Fear it, my dear sister.
Why, what an ass I am! This is most brave, that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell. must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words, and fall a-cursing like a very drab a stallion. If thou dost marry, I give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery, farewell. Or, if thou wilt needs marry, marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make to them. Go to a nunnery, go, and quickly too, farewell. That's a fair thought to lie between your maiden's legs.
Everything that happens is from now. This is pouring rain. This is paradise.